Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you as usual. What's up, Rico?
Here.
How's the day?
So far, so good. It's a little rainy. Not as bad as it is in Omaha, which I hope everybody is staying safe and sound and as dry as you can.
Sounds like a tornado warning in Douglas and Saunders County, I believe I read somewhere.
Renee Saunders County?
Okay, we need to reel you back in. I don't know what it is. You're a little out of control.
What are you talking about? We out here.
Saying, Rico, we need to.
I'm fine.
Reel you in.
I'm fine. I'm not a tuna. You can't reel me in.
Reel yourself in. Calm yourself down.
I'm a tiger shark.
But nonetheless, 402-464-5685. The Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. Plenty of stuff to talk about on the show today. Plenty of football stuff to talk about. Big Ten and SEC conference payouts, because Scott Docterman of The Athletic actually just released fiscal year forms, like tax forms, for both the Big Ten conference and the SEC conference. We'll talk about that. We have our first instance of a college football quarterback suing a coaching staff and members of an athletic department for some just miscommunication and what he is saying false promises over NIL deals.
So damaging his image.
Yeah, just not paying him what they said they were going to pay him. Also
making him making him out to be the bad guy in the whole situation. Promising him all these things, saying, "Hey, you're going to do this, and we're going to pay you this," and then you get there, and it's like, "Yeah, no." And then when he decides to leave, they're like, this is all his fault.
So we'll talk about Jaden Rashada, but then also a little Big Ten baseball tournament as well, because now Nebraska. So the tentative plan yesterday was I was going to be up in Omaha at this point. Thankfully, I'm not.
You were going to be on a laptop.
I was going to be on a laptop joining the show, but they decided to have the dugouts filled with 5 feet of water overnight, and so games are now pushed back quite a bit. They initially pushed the 10 a.m. game back to about 1 p.m. Now they've pushed that game back to 4 p.m. and Nebraska gets just pushed back some more as well. So Nebraska is scheduled for 8 p.m. first pitch now tonight from Charles Schwab.
That game's not happening.
I think it will. I was watching some weather videos, live streams during
big weather guy
just before we got on the air, and it appears that Nebraska will be relatively clear of everything by 2 p.m. Iowa is going to get the worst of it.
So it's moving over now.
It's all moving over.
Slowly filtering.
The meteorologist, the weatherman said, all right, there's a chance that, there's some scattered showers throughout the rest of the afternoon, and maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but nothing drastic.
Yeah, just a little bit of showers, maybe some lightning and thunder, but it's fine.
That's fine. That's nothing bad unless it's tornadic activity.
Well, yeah, unless you see it and then the game gets canceled. Well, not canceled, but pushed back. 30 minutes?
30 minutes from the last lightning strike. Yeah. It has to be 30 minutes from the previous the last seen lightning strike or reported lightning strike. I think that there's a very little chance that Nebraska doesn't play tonight. I think even if this game were to start at 9:30. They will start it.
They did that in the College World Series once.
They did it in the College World Series. Also, they've already pushed one of the games that were supposed to happen today back to tomorrow morning. The game that was supposed to start tonight after Nebraska has been pushed to 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Let's just play it at 2 a.m. Let's have some fun.
So we'll see what happens there. But once again, so 402-464-5685. So yes, Crowbait game has been pushed back to 8 p.m. now at Charles Schwab Field.
So y'all got plenty of time to get off work, have supper, and drive to Omaha to go support Nebraska.
Without any concern of rain.
Hopefully.
Because it's all going to be in Iowa at that point.
Well, I mean, you still got to, careful which roads you go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of flood
activity in Omaha. A lot of pictures of cars submerged. There was one overnight where it was a video of the sewer drain caps just like wobbling, and I don't know why, but I don't know if it was that windy or what was happening, but they were all wobbling. Somebody had a picture on their way to work that all the sewer caps were just like off of the manholes. The manhole covers were off of the manholes. It was very strange.
I did see that. I also saw where I don't follow any of those like Omaha Scanners or Lincoln Scanner accounts.
I do.
But I saw that Omaha Scanner posted something along the lines of a hazard call today because a person drove their car into the water.
Hey, if the water looks deep, don't drive your car into it. Just don't. Even if you got a lifted truck, I feel like that's still a bad idea. You don't know how deep it is. Just don't drive your car into water.
Not necessarily applicable to folks in Lincoln, thankfully.
No.
But the folks in Omaha, if you're listening.
Those are my people. Come on, be smarter.
Yeah. Maybe that explains it.
That's rude.
Maybe that explains it. God, she left.
Don't
So there you have it.
She hates me.
Nonetheless, once again, 464-5685. Let's talk conference payouts here.
Cash.
Because just on the surface level, it appears that in the 2023 fiscal year, the Big Ten Conference paid out about $9 million more per school than the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And so the SEC, we'll start with them first, because it's a little bit of less confusing. And this all comes from The Athletic. It's headlined, SEC paid out roughly $51 million to each member during 2023 fiscal year per their tax filing.
Holy moly.
Southeastern Conference dispersed between 51 and 51.8 million to each of its 14 members during the 2023 fiscal year, according to its tax return. Can you imagine the tax return for the SEC conference?
Does that
Greg Sankey's like, man, it's payday.
does that just go to Greg? Like, does he?
No.
Like, it just
It
goes to
can't.
Greg, and then he has to like dole it out. He's like, all right, let me get his checkbook out. He's like, University of Alabama.
All right, what do I owe this year?
All right, what do I owe you guys?
I got to figure out a way not to pay in this year.
Yeah.
File a dependent,
He's like, I gotta-
independent. How many dependents do we have?
16 dependents.
16 independents. Oh, man. Yeah, hopefully. They're like, Greg, listen, if you
He's
just
like
file it with 16 dependents, you're not going to have to pay in this
They're
year.
a child write-off.
Maybe we'll actually be able to get you some federal return.
Maybe we'll
this
actually
year.
get you paid, man. I don't know what's going on.
So anyway, so once again, back to the SEC. SEC paid out around $718 million in total to its members, up from $698.5 million in the 2022 fiscal year. It was about a $1.8 million bump to each school's athletic department. The league generated, here's the interesting numbers. League generated nearly $852.6 million, with $544.4 million coming from its media rights deal. The other sizable chunk of revenue came from, here's the key, postseason participation at $274 million in postseason participation. Overall, the SEC saw a $50.5 million jump in overall revenue. After the expenses, the league had a $29.43 million profit, $9.5 million more than in 2022.
That is ridiculous.
Greg Sankey was the SEC's highest paid official at $3.6 million in compensation. So there's the SEC. Thinking it's $29.43 million in profit. That's the biggest number. Also about 51 mil per school for the year.
That postseason participation, bringing in that chunk of change,
Almost 300 mil.
Can you imagine this next year? That SC had two teams, right? Again,
yeah.
So they had two teams. Imagine this coming year where they're gonna have, like, let's be honest with ourselves.
Oklahoma, Texas.
Well, yeah, you're adding Oklahoma, Texas. Like, that's gonna bump up the revenue, obviously. But I'm talking like in the playoff, the 12-team playoff, they're gonna have like 4 teams.
So we can go through this, right?
Right.
Like you're expecting Georgia, Texas.
Yeah, they shouldn't take that big of a step down.
Georgia,
and again, with 12
Texas.
teams, like, you're gonna,
I guess Alabama.
It depends on the step.
Yeah, I guess Alabama with Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer.
I'm trying to think of is Ole Miss. They had
Ole Miss
massive,
is a fringe.
Yeah,
Ole Miss is a lot
transfer class.
Ole Miss is a lot like Penn State.
Yes,
to where they're going to be like a fringe 10 to 15 type of team every year.
But Penn State, if they have the same season and the same outcome that they did this year, they're making it.
That's true. That's
Ole
true.
Miss, if they're the Penn State of the SEC, they'll make it.
They'll make it.
So you'll have 3 teams, right? In the SEC, at the very least, 3. Depends on who else takes a step up. Depends on what Florida's going to do. Tennessee, what Mike Elko does at Texas A&M.
So there you have it. You're looking at 25% of the playoff is probably going to be SEC. Another 25% will probably be Big Ten.
Like Ohio State, Penn State.
So there's 50.
We'll look at what Michigan does.
Yeah.
And then
Nebraska.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
So Ohio State, but Oregon.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's 3.
I forget. They're in the Big Ten now.
Oregon's there. So there's 3. I mean, so just go on the lighter side. 50% is SEC, Big 12, Big 10. Then you look at the Big 12, and do they have a top 12 team?
Well, they're gonna get one in because of the conference champion.
I hope that we get a 500 team.
When are we gonna do our? Obviously, it's way too early now.
When
are we gonna do our conference picks? Our playoff picks like we did last year?
It'll be a couple months
where we both got 2 in.
We got 12 teams to pick.
I'm interested.
I'm intrigued. I'm good. We're good for it.
How many group of 5s do you think? 1 for sure.
1.
You think just 1?
Just 1.
I think 2.
National. This will be the fascinating thing as our heads, wander here. The fascinating thing of like national respect in terms of like conferences. Does the committee value SEC Big Ten over everybody else and says, you know what, we'll put a 3-loss Big Ten school or SEC school in over a 2-loss Big 12 school, right? We're gonna, as we talked about it so often, like the controversy surrounding the number 4 spot is now just going to shift to the 11 and 12 spots. Like who are 11, 12, 13, 14? That's where it's going to be. So instead of having the conversations about like Alabama, Texas, and Florida State, it's going to be the conversation of Penn State, Tulane. There's going to be like a Tulane in there.
Yep. Because you're going to have you'll have an undefeated group of 5, and then you'll have a 1-loss group of 5, and you're going to be like, oh, they both should get in. And then you're going to look down and you're going to be like, well, Florida only has 3 losses.
Okay, so I suppose, and then we're going to play the game of Florida has 3 losses to Georgia, and Missouri.
Yeah.
So that's where it's going to be interesting. You're gonna have to, like, the committee. This is where it's going to be most important for the committee to actually keep tabs on everybody. It's going to make the committee's job, I think, more difficult.
Impossible.
Because now, instead of having these blue bloods, and maybe every now and then you have a Cincinnati, or in this case, this year it was Florida State, but still a power conference team this last year. Instead of that, it's going to be the Tulanes. Does like a team like BYU be a fringe top 15 team, or Houston, or West Virginia? Like, now, not projecting that they're going to be there, but a program like those places, to where they're not blue bloods. You might have to watch a Tulane Liberty game, or a Tulane or a Liberty and Bowling Green Thursday night matchup.
Maction might get some more love.
I love Maction.
I'm a big fan of Maction.
Pro Maction.
Yes. This is a pro Maction show.
I believe. Oh, no. Steve Mark, good friend of the show.
He's big Mac.
Very big Mac guy.
We should have Mac watch parties.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do now that DeQuan Finn's not at Toledo.
Where's he at again?
Baylor.
You're going to watch so much Baylor football.
Dave Aranda and DeQuan Finn.
You're in heaven.
Together?
Yeah. You have no idea what to do with yourself.
We should do. I know the captain did it earlier, or Bach in the black shirt did it earlier. Where they did hot seats, coaching hot seats.
That's a boiling seat.
I would love to see how, if we were to give like our top 5 of coaches that need to perform.
Ooh.
How close could we get to what the national pundits are saying?
Because they haven't released theirs yet, have they?
Dave Aranda's probably up there. I would assume so.
I'd say he's 3.
Let's see if they've come out with an article. Dave Aranda's probably up there. I think James Franklin's up there. Just not on a hot seat, but needs to perform.
He's outside looking in, in a good way. Like, he's not a hot seat, but the seat is warm. It's tingly.
I mean, like, we brought up Florida. I think Billy Napier at Florida. The lawsuit probably doesn't help.
Yeah, that's not going to help at all. It's his 3rd year there
with Billy Napier, because he came from Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, the Raging Cajuns.
Because he had a really good year, or a really good couple of years there.
That was the very under the radar hire, where they hired him pretty quickly, and people are like, what are you doing? What is going on here?
So Billy Napier makes $7.1 million a year. He in 6 years of coaching. This will be his 3rd year at Florida.
Your boy was right.
At Louisiana, he was 40-12 overall. At Florida so far, he's been 11-14. He has been to 1 bowl game, the Las Vegas Bowl in year 1 with Florida, lost it. They started that season. How about this? They started the season, his first year, at 12th in the country. Finished unranked, obviously, because they finished 6-7.
Yep.
Then they finished this last year at 5-7 overall as well. So Billy Napier's probably one of those. I could also see Sam Pittman at Arkansas being one. It just feels like Arkansas is weird.
They had that one really good year.
Yeah, that was the
like
year
2 years ago.
with KJ Jefferson, who entered the portal.
Yes, he is somewhere in Florida. He might be at Florida. No, UCF.
KJ Jefferson is at UCF?
UCF.
That's right. KJ Jefferson at UCF. Dave Aranda's obviously up there. But, like, outside of that, I don't know if there's any other Power 5 guys that are truly on the hot seat.
Do you think Brett Bielema?
No.
Is his warm?
No.
Okay.
I don't. So, by the way, don't forget KJ Jefferson, as I pulled this up because I forgot about it. 1 month ago, KJ Jefferson arrested in Arkansas.
Oh, I did forget about that.
KJ Jefferson. So once again, he's with UCF. But back to
Gonna have to avoid getting arrested in EA Sports College Football 25. Maintain that image.
Hey, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
no Hellcats.
So Big Ten. So now the Big Ten tax returns.
Yes.
Big Ten pays out over $60 million per school. Saw their revenues jump by more than $34 million in the fiscal year, but its expenses rose more than $46 million.
Damn you, cold weather.
According to the tax filing. They lost $17.56 million this year.
Ooh.
So the Big Ten Conference was the third consecutive year that the league reported a deficit.
Oh, no.
Dating to the 2020-2021 year, drastically altered by COVID-19. How about this? This comes from, once again, The Athletic. Much of the financial fallout spills over from when the league sold a larger equity share of Big Ten Network to Fox, which saw its ownership stake of the channel increase from 51 to 61%. How about this also? The Big Ten generated nearly $880 million in revenue, spent $897.4 million. But after they agreed to the latest media rights package, the one obviously we talked so much about, their revenue will grow and exceed $1 billion in the coming years.
The B.
Among the notable numbers, former commissioners Jim Delaney and Kevin Warren made nearly $10 million in compensation and consulting services in 2023. Jim Delaney.
Why?
Here's the thing. Jim Delaney, who retired on January 1st of 2020, received $5.862 million in bonuses and other compensation, while also picking up $400,000 in consultation fees.
Leave the man alone.
Kevin Warren, who left the league on April 14th, 2023, picked up a $3.71 million in salary and also additional deferred compensation.
Man, the Big Ten's looking like Nebraska firing coaches.
And
Still paying people not to work here
paying
anymore.
dudes forever.
What are we doing?
Of its $879 million in revenue, the Big Ten dispersed $843 to its 14 members. The league's 12 fully vested members received between $60.48 and $60.55 million, while Maryland and Rutgers, which borrowed money from the Big Ten while non-vested members from 2014 to 2020, picked up $58.8 and $58.7 million respectively.
That's
that is it's about a $4 million bump
Yeah.
in pay towards those 12 fully vested members. But the numbers with the media rights deal will jump significantly next year. Here's the big one too.
Here's
the Big Ten also paid $3 million in legal services, which is slightly up from its 2022 tax form.
Can you imagine just having like a slice of money just reserved for legal services?
They're probably going to need it at some point.
Oh, they're gonna need it
every single year.
Yep.
And to that point,
shout out to Harbaugh.
It's time to talk about Jaden Rashada. Let's do that when we come back. Jaden Rashada suing Florida. A couple of bigger names there. Billy Napier, interesting enough, we brought him up. We'll talk about Jaden Rashada when we return.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Cheetos on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
The Nebraska Neurosurgery Group, led by Dr. Daniel Tomes and Dr. Benjamin Bixeman, is committed to providing the best care for all of your neurosurgery needs, like minimally invasive spine procedures, peripheral nerve release, brain surgery, including tumor removal and brain injury management, and more. The Nebraska Neurosurgery Group has outreach clinics throughout Nebraska and northern Kansas. Schedule your appointment with the region's top neurosurgeons at 402-904-4729. At the Nebraska Neurosurgery Group in Lincoln on South 27th Street. Or check out the website, nebraskaneurosurgery.net, for a full list of services and outreach clinics.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Harvey Perlman was there.
Hey, Harvey's there.
Harvey sidled up to me and said, Sipple, a little out of context. So I was driving back. I called Pelini and I told him what Harvey said. He goes, Sipple, you should have told him anytime he's not near a sewer, he's out of context.
Whoa! Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start, that was a preemptive shh.
and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Huge thanks to our sponsor, Empire Fence and Netting, for their support of the show as always. 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Sartor Heyman text line open for you as well as the Sartor Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. Got done talking about tax returns for the Big Ten and SEC conference.
Ask the people the question you asked in the break.
No, we got to stay on track.
We will. Just ask them. I want text because I want to know. Somebody has to know.
Somebody has to know how are cheese wheels created?
That's all we need to know. Now we can continue.
Because now there's all these videos that are popping up on my Twitter of like opening up cheese wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've seen them in like the store. Mm-hmm. Never had a purpose to buy one.
Do regular people buy cheese wheels?
On the smaller scale.
No, but I mean, because you can get like the big ones. Like, what would be the purpose of getting a big? No, we can't do this. No.
Well, no, we got to now. The cheese wheel. Because I'm curious in. Oh, a little more expensive than I thought they were going to be.
Oh yeah.
Wheel of Parmesan.
Ooh,
Parmesan is $2,900. But I also wonder if it's one of those things where if you buy in bulk, do you save money in the long run than just buying the bags of shredded cheese.
But if you cut into it, does that will it mold faster then?
It has to. That's why it's got to be like these corporate places that got to have the
How
wheel
much
cheese.
so when you cut into it, you just shred it right away
gotta
and
shred
then you
it.
gotta like freeze it?
You got to
But then
shred
is it the same? Because like fresh cheese?
I don't know, man.
Do you cut like a triangle out of your cheese wheel? Can you just eat it like that?
Yes. Out of a cheese wheel?
Yeah.
Very much so.
Is cheddar, can you get a cheddar cheese wheel?
So I don't know. We got to get back on track.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We got to get back on track because
402-464-5685.
we go down a rabbit hole.
Let us know how they make cheese wheels.
We can go down a rabbit hole.
Thank you.
I thought about doing a tip jar today, but elected probably not to.
Ted just goes squirrel.
There you are. And
cheese
wheel, nonetheless. Wait, hold on. What do we got here? Crowbait says, have you guys seen videos of the village of people that annually roll a cheese wheel and race it down a steep hill?
Yeah, that's not a village. That's in England.
Oh, you know about this?
Yeah, it's crazy. People get hurt like real bad.
Racing on the cheese wheel.
Yeah, so it's a cheese wheel, and if you win, like you don't have to beat the cheese wheel, but if you win the race, you get the cheese wheel. I think there's other
after
stuff too.
It rolled on the ground.
It's like a steep hill. Like it's steep, and they just roll
so people are getting hurt.
People are running. Yeah, like people break their legs and stuff.
Dang,
I think I could do it.
There's not a lot of exciting things that happen in America.
Dude, America's boring.
Are you out on America?
You gotta be careful now. You gotta be careful now. You gotta be careful what you say here.
Are you not anti-America? Are you just out on America?
I am not out on America. I just think that America could be cooler.
could be some cooler places.
Like
there are pieces of America that are cool.
Yeah.
They just need to broaden it.
America's like a
Ted even agrees. He goes, yes, America is boring when it comes to events.
Yeah, like somebody was talking about how Luka Doncic is going to be playing in the most hostile environment when they went to OKC. And then they showed like basketball in Serbia.
Yep.
And it's like dark and they're outside and people just have like fire in the crowds. Like, have you seen like soccer events where like there's fireworks in the crowds and they have those massive flags? I'm like, look, American sports fandoms, like fans, boring.
See, Matt R., how can you get any cooler than the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
By rolling a wheel of cheese.
Also sickening.
By rolling a wheel of cheese down a hill and chasing it.
The whole idea of them like dunking the dogs in lemonade.
And then just like, they're like, oh, it goes down easier. I'm like, that's disgusting. I know you're not doing it for the flavor. Like, you're not doing it.
We got to stop talking about it.
You're not doing it
we
to
gotta
eat
stop
the
talking.
hot dog. You're just doing it so that you just like down the hot dog faster.
We're done.
Nick
All
is
right.
not a fan of that.
I got to stop. It's the illusion, the sight.
Or like the gallon of lemonade.
Yeah,
When they chug that,
and then
they're
just
just like,
continuously like it's every 5 seconds especially with Joey Chestnut that they're just like next number, and there's just the person with the sign standing behind him, just like just flipping through the numbers.
Yeah.
And you look away for a minute and a half, and he's got 12 hot dogs down the jugular.
Done. Dunzo.
I can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's it's impressive. I could never do it.
The whole like eating contest thing is
those are awesome.
Tough for me.
If like the thing is, if I could do it like with a friend, like the ones that like you have a friend to help you, I know exactly who I'm inviting, and we could down a whole bunch of those eating contests.
Who's that?
My friend Thomas. He's out in Grand Island.
Oh,
that's the homie. He's the one that I'm officiating his wedding.
Oh, okay.
In July.
How many of you officiated?
This will be my first one. You can call me Rev Rico.
Did you have to get ordained online?
I did.
Gotcha.
I have all the paperwork and everything. I'm official. I'm efficient. I'm
Very
a
nice.
reverend, baby.
I'm glad. I
asked if I could get like the whole suit, and Rachel nixed that.
Yeah.
But she said I asked if I could get. You ever seen Christmas Vacation where he just has like the bib thing that's like a turtleneck?
You should get the suit.
So they have one of those. It's just like a bib with like the little white part that priests wear, and like she laughed, and I was like, "Can I get it?" And she was like, "I mean, if they say it's okay, because I gotta ask them if they, what I got.
It's their wedding.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Why don't you do the Dumb and Dumber blue, powder blue tux?
Because I would love to, but
or the orange tux.
I don't want to upstate. This is their day.
I don't know.
It's also kind of my day.
I don't know how I'd feel about Rico officiating a wedding.
Why?
My wedding.
Can I officiate your wedding?
No.
Why?
Because there's already people in line for officiating.
Your
weddings.
The religious wedding?
Yeah.
Nah, non-religious. I got you, bro.
Are you really trying to talk me out of this?
Come on.
No.
It'll be official.
And even
you'll have the paperwork and everything, but it'll be so much more fun.
Even if
come on, you don't want to get married in the church.
Well,
you don't want to get married in church.
Part of me does.
Let's go do it in a parking lot.
No, not gonna happen. Jay Foreman notifies us and lets us know that he is ordained as well. So there you go. You guys can duel it out for a hypothetical wedding.
Jay, I need you to give me pointers, tips.
I almost got ordained.
I would not want you officiating my wedding.
And then folks changed their mind on who they wanted to officiate their wedding.
I thought you were going to say change their mind on their wedding. I was like,
no, just change their mind on who they wanted to officiate.
You know what?
I would have been like 18 at the time, and they thought maybe this isn't the greatest look to have just like a young kid up there, guy that just graduated, or not even graduated, just graduated high school.
Like I'm gonna
ordaining or officiating our wedding.
Like I need a serious vote right now. 402-464-5685. Do I open it up like the Princess Bride? Marriage is what brings us together today.
I cannot take you seriously. This is going to be an interesting day. There is no big date. Horns down. There's no big date. Let me just clear the air there. No big date
for you or for the one that I'm officiating.
For me.
It's in July. I don't remember the date. It's on my fridge. It's not like in my mind.
Anyway,
shout out to Thomas.
Somebody goes, Jay officiating a wedding would be lit.
I feel like it'd be pretty boring.
I don't know. Jay, people get a different side of Jay. We see a different side of Jay.
Jay's very monotone. He'd just be up there. He'd be like, yeah.
Jay thinks he's funny. He's not.
I'm not going to say that.
Anyway, I have no problem saying it. Anyway, okay. Well, we've exhausted this segment. Nice going, Rico.
I just want to know how a wheel of cheese is made.
You can get it for $2,900. $2,900. There you go.
Okay.
We'll be joined by Austin and Strick, and we do want to talk Jaden Rashada.
Jaden Rashada with them.
We'll do that coming up next to close out the show.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Nebraska Neurosurgery Group, led by Dr. Daniel Tomes and Dr. Benjamin Bigseman, is committed to providing the best care for all of your neurosurgery needs, like minimally invasive spine procedures, peripheral nerve release, brain surgery, including tumor removal and brain injury management, and more. The Nebraska Neurosurgery Group has outreach clinics throughout Nebraska and northern Kansas. Schedule your appointment with the region's top neurosurgeons at 402-904-4729 at the Nebraska Neurosurgery Group in Lincoln on South 27th Street. Or check out the website, nebraskaneurosurgery.net, for a full list of services and outreach clinics.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th. Located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Join us this Friday, May 24th for Old School, live from 4 to 6 p.m. for the brand new rooftop at Beer House at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. We're helping unveil their new 40 Torches beer in honor of the 40th year of the Cornhusker State Games. Don't miss it. Old School, this Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Beer House.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska's always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
This is a house of learned doctors.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
As soon as your eyes shut, I'm going to punch you square in the face.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour one final time as we are getting ready for On the Block with Strick and Austin. Austin will be in the studio by his lonesome while
all by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself.
Strick will join via stream. Hello, Austin.
Hi. How we doing, guys?
He's jealous.
I am not at all.
You should have joined in.
I did not know it.
You don't know that song?
Not
Yes,
the way
you do.
you guys sang it.
That's just the words.
Not the way you guys sang it. 402-464-5685.
Rude.
Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys. So, Austin, we wanted to talk about Jaden Rashada in the last segment, but we have to push it to this segment because what an
bleep show.
Kind of, yeah, I suppose so. Excellent illustration of what could happen if you're not transparent.
Yes.
Or you don't follow through in what you say. Because for the folks that don't know, Jaden Rashada alleges, quote, false promises by Florida coach Billy Napier and others in a lawsuit that he filed Tuesday morning. Jaden Rashada, suing Gators coach Billy Napier, a former UF staffer and a major university booster, alleging that they made false and fraudulent promises to induce Rashada to sign with the Florida Gators in 2022. Rashada initially committed to Miami in June of 2022, prior to his senior year of high school, but flipped to Florida 5 months later upon signing a staggering 4-year, $13.85 million deal with the Gator Collective. So once again, you have where then late in the recruiting process, and I'm trying to go off of this by memory, he ends up backing out of his deal or saying that I want released from my national letter of intent because you guys lied to me and I'm not going to get the full $13.85 million. Ends up going to Arizona State and now left Arizona State, currently at Georgia, but now is suing Florida. This is what is kind of crazy and what could potentially happen if places and programs, collectives, coaches, staffs are not honest and do not follow through with it. Because not only is this a bad look across the country, now it's a bad look in the recruiting game. It makes future players hesitant about NIL deals. And it also just, as I mentioned, a horrible look for Florida.
Horrible look for Florida, horrible look for the booster.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible look, though, for Jaden Rashada.
Absolutely.
To be we give a lot of credit to, House suing the NCAA. We give a lot of credit to Ed O'Bannon, right? He really got this ball rolling. I wonder if Jaden Rashada is next in line or sees himself as next in line in the, quote unquote, player empowerment era, such as it is. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
How many times have players, current players, active players, sued a school they might have set foot on for a day or two? Maybe. It doesn't happen like that. My favorite part of the story, though, I saw this tweeted by Kevin Clark. Was it this morning or yesterday? He said, obviously, it's a terrible story. But there's a part in the 24/7 story that says, Rashada informed Georgia coach Kirby Smart of his intention to file the lawsuit, according to sources, and Smart gave his blessing.
Yeah,
of course he did.
Of course he did.
Which, here's the thing, that's just hilarious. Because no, I don't want you to sue a conference rival. I don't want you to, sue the team we play in Jacksonville every year. No, let him off the hook. Obviously, go for it, young man. But also, I think Kirby is smarter than that, right? I don't think Kirby is, at least we haven't seen that level of petty from him. We haven't seen that level of, do it for the memes, do it for kicks and gigs. I think if Kirby is telling him to do this, I think it's a good look for him because it's a sign of, we have your back here at Georgia, right? We will support you. We know this is going to be a long, drawn-out process. We know your mind might not be on the field. We're going to try to get you locked in when you're on the field. But I think this is not just a sign to Jaden Rashada. I think that's a sign for the future that Georgia's saying, we have your backs if you come play for us.
Now, I want to know how this, depending on what the decision is after this lawsuit, whether it sides with Rashada or sides with Florida, what that
there's no way it sides with Florida, right?
Not a chance.
I have no idea. But
not a chance.
I mean, there's always chances. You never know. There's always chances. But depending on how it all goes and what this will do to the outlook of NIL and potential contracts and having to sign things and the boosters, the NIL collectives, how it goes through the school, if it goes through the school, who's going to have to be in the room when these decisions are made by these athletes. Are the parents, how involved are the parents? How involved is the university and, lawyers and all of these things? This is going to, again, depending on the result. I mean, either way, with either result of this lawsuit, what things are going to change in the NCAA, the NIL landscape of college football that's already seen massive changes in the last 3 years.
So this is what more from the Athletic here. Weeks later, however, the collective terminated his deal before it was to pay him a scheduled $500,000 signing bonus. In doing so, Rashada claims he lost a $9.5 million deal that he had in place with a Miami mega booster. The suit, yeah, exactly. Same guy with Nigel Pack and everybody else. The suit alleges the co-defendants continued making financial promises to entice Rashada to sign in December, which he shortly did after Coach Napier himself vouched that University of Florida alumni were good on their promise and that Jaden would receive $1 million if he signed with Florida on National Signing Day. The unusual NIL bidding war between Florida and Miami boosters for Rashada came amid the emergence of school-specific NIL collectives, independent organizations that provide monetary NIL opportunities for athletes. Now, obviously, this is where it could get, speaking of siding with Florida, siding with Rashada, how does this end? I'm sure Florida's response is there's no written agreement. There's no contract between the school and us. And there's no players association to where we're binded by a verbal agreement or anything like that. That's where now that's the only way I could see them siding with Florida or Jaden Rashada only getting a fraction of this. I would not be surprised if this turns into a settlement.
I was just going to say that.
I think I think the road that this heads down, Rashada won't get $13.85 million. No, but he might get 4. He might get 5. He might get a portion of it to just say, hey, you know what? Let's just all save the legal fees. Let's figure this out. We made a mistake. You called us out on it.
They'll say you made a mistake.
Yeah.
We made a mistake. You weren't worth this, but we told you were. So here's a little money anyways.
Here's a little money anyways. We'll go our separate ways. Never have to talk to each other. And
see you in Jacksonville.
And that's where the signatures will come into play with we can't talk about this anymore.
It's funny how much of this comes back to what we talked about a couple off seasons ago with Scott Frost writing the metrics down and Fred Hoiberg not. Right? It's almost the inverse situation here, right? Where now in this situation, you want to have this in writing. You want to have some sort of proof that there is a deal agreed to, because I think you're onto something. If there are no documents there, or if there's few documents and they're not very strong, that all goes in Florida's favor. Yeah. Right. I think all the evidence, all the stories we hear points to, hey, Florida really goofed here. Florida, reneged on its word. Florida went back on it. This is a problem. But if Jaden Rashada didn't ask for any of this to be written down, depending on what court this is happening in, maybe it's the judge that says, hey, young man, sorry. Hope you learned your lesson.
Well, and that's the thing. That's
Hopefully
where
there's some text message exchange that he saved.
That's where it goes on NIL agents to have that. I think also Rashada would be in a much better spot if, like I said, you had the collective bargaining agreements, right? Where there's that stuff in place for college athletics in general. I think it's just going to be, and we're trending towards that. But obviously, when this was made in 2022, that was not even a thought process at this point.
Contracts are going to be made and contracts are going to be signed.
And then I also think there was a little bit of naive piece of it to where it's like, there won't be that much discrepancy.
I think somebody's
there was,
putting all
right?
this money in front of you. Yeah, it's hard to be like, let me make sure that I have everything in writing. It's just like, you want to give me $9 million? Like, okay, I'll do it.
Well, see, that's the inflection point between how business was done and how business is done, right? Now you don't have to do the
trust game.
Well, the trust. Well, it is about trust. But you don't have to do who am I thinking of? Was it Pruitt with the McDonald's bag?
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to do that.
That's
right.
That's
now
my
you're
point.
supposed to write it down. Now that you can write it down, you have to write it down.
That's my point. Is like everybody was so accustomed to, hey, let's not text about this. Let's not write this down. Let's just have a verbal conversation in person. Phones are off. We can't talk about this.
You don't get
two-party consent state.
Let me just hand this over to you in cash or have my wife, I'm the head coach. Let's have my wife transfer your mom some money and then she transfers that to you.
Let me accidentally leave my briefcase in the meeting room. Oh, I forgot it.
There you go. So like that was the case. Now that's hurting entities and hurting parties in these conversations. So just a real bizarre situation. And like I said, like a lot of these things, it'll eventually, I'm sure, be settled and we won't hear a whole lot about it. Maybe the figures won't even ever get public. We won't know. But this is also Rashada's way of saying, just give me something for my troubles. And for, frankly, because it goes back, and I remember having these conversations before we knew all of this, of like, does this guy even want to not go to Miami? Like, that was the piece. Does he even not want to go to Miami, or is he only going to Florida for the $13.85 million? And I mean, hey, you know what? When there's $14 million and you're 18 years old, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Here's a question: does Jaden Rashada end up with more millions of dollars or more career games played at Georgia?
Ooh.
Okay, so we're looking like,
what's he at now?
Well, so he's
he hasn't played.
No, I mean the millions of dollars.
True freshman.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering, right? Like, does he get 4? Does he get 5? Does he get it all? And does he even play in that many games? It really comes down to he's not going to be better than Gunnar Stockton, be the backup this year. So he's going to be in competition with that Puglisi guy that Georgia retained even after Dillon left.
I mean, it was super late in the process when they went out and got him. So is it that the quarterbacks that they have aren't to the level that they thought they were going to be, and they believe that he is? Like,
or do they want to bring in another guy in the class that they were
Yeah.
always shooting for 2?
Like, does
to
he
me,
have
it's
the
does
upper
he beat
hand?
out Ryan Puglisi in 2.5, 3 years? That's the question.
Yeah.
I think NIL value is down. So I'm going to say games played.
Same.
Are we sure he finishes his college football career at Georgia?
No. 2 years.
2 years. You don't think he leaves after this next year?
I think he's a starter this year.
Not over
Jaden
Carson
Rashada?
Beck. Not over
Oh,
Carson
not Carson
Beck.
Beck. Yeah, you're right. I forgot he was.
Carson Beck's going to probably be a top.
Rico.
Carson
My
Beck's
bad.
somehow
My bad.
somehow
Yeah,
going
no.
to be a top
Carson
5
Beck
pick.
Carson Beck somehow just doesn't play. He's just like, you know what? I don't want to. I'm NFL ready.
We'll look back at this in 4 months, and Carson Beck has torn both ACLs, and Rico's like, I called it.
I wonder who was right here.
And then Buglisi or whatever his name is.
Yeah, no, 2 years.
also.
He's his backup now. Starts next year, and is just like, you know what? I don't know. I can make more money. Then he goes to like Florida.
Over Georgia. Because Billy Napier gets fired.
Because Billy
by then.
Napier leaves and he goes to Florida.
Because Billy Napier gets fired. But then, if you had to give me one coach, hottest seat right now, who is it?
In college football?
In college football. Power 5 more specifically.
Yeah.
I said a Big 12 school.
Did you go to Neil Brown at West Virginia?
I went Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda, yeah, that's a good one. Brown probably played his way into a slightly cooler seat
I think
after
so.
last
He
year.
got an extension, didn't he?
I think, yeah,
he
that's
got
right.
like a 2-year extension or something.
Yeah, Aranda's a good one. McGuire at Texas Tech.
Ooh.
You know, they were supposed to pop up last year, and I think they underachieved a little bit. In the Big Ten, is it Ryan Walters already?
No.
Because it's not Bielema.
I said James Franklin. Not hot seat, needs to
do something.
And in this year, it's playoff berth.
Will Penn State ever be gutsy enough to fire Franklin? I don't think so.
No.
Well,
you know,
if
they're
it-
not going to make the Bo Pelini move.
He's
What if
the only
what if
way
Matt
he's-
Rule has promise? Do they make the move?
Who has more money, Penn State or Nebraska?
Well, they just unveiled a $700 million extent.
They did. And they got concourse, which
renovation.
Nebraska doesn't. So
Don't even start. Don't even start.
But
Nick
they're also
What
like
am I-
winterizing
what am I-
their stadium for the
Yes.
college football playoff.
That's nice.
You know, potential hosting, which is why not? Cough, cough, Chicago Bears.
I don't want to winterize. I need you to play in the snow.
Tough. So, by the way, Neil Brown has been extended through 2027.
Okay.
But nonetheless, with that, oh man, the concourses, because I tweeted out something like concourse, nice, must be fun to have one, or something like that, and because now
people don't like you.
My dream is dead of the concourse.
Yeah. Sorry.
We're just going to leave that part of the stadium alone. We'll let
Yeah.
it crumble on its own.
But then I can't remember who replied on one of my tweets. It was like, Nebraska has a concourse. Where am I missing it?
Nebraska doesn't have a concourse.
Not a wraparound. I mean, they have the normal
it's
stadium concourses
yeah,
on
and
East and West, but it's
so
not all the way
hard to-
around.
it's
It
so
gets
hard to maneuver.
congested.
Like a horseshoe.
Yeah,
It's hard to maneuver.
but it doesn't go. It doesn't connect east to west.
no, it doesn't.
It's all
yeah.
segmented.
It's different.
It's gross.
And South just has ground floor essentially.
Yeah.
And you can't.
You
Yeah,
gotta
that's the
climb
thing, because you
gotta
can't.
climb all the way up.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can't go from like East Stadium to South Stadium.
No,
you have to go
exit.
downstairs and then up the stairs.
I'm just saying, if somebody can spill a drink on you from their seat when you're trying to get a drink yourself, not that great.
Back on the hot seat thing, which school is more likely to fire their head coach, Penn State or Clemson?
Clemson.
Does Clemson love Dabo enough, or will they get tired of his shtick eventually?
He keeps digging himself into that dang transfer portal hole.
Everyone's a transfer. They're just transferring from high school, guys.
High school. Nobody in the transfer portal was good enough to start on our team.
Nice boat. Anyway,
go track it down.
Yeah. No, big boat guy.
Big boat. There's a big boat that just drove by. If you drove by, come show me the boat.
Nick wants to see your boat.
Let me drive the boat.
Make you an offer you can't refuse.
Let me drive the boat.
Let me drive the boat. I'll be like the guy off of Dumb and Dumber. You might want to hold on to that one. IOU. It's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs. Anyway, I'll never be able to pay them off.
A nice crisp high five.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Nonetheless, Austin, what's coming up on the show today?
Is the NBA a league with parity, or are we judging parity wrong? 6 straight unique champions this year.
Strick loves parody.
He sure does.
Strick loves talking about whether or not something has parody.
Yes, he'll put his tinfoil hat on. I guarantee the words tinfoil hat come up.
Okay.
In this discussion.
All right,
so,
there it is.
What's actually happening in NIL? Is it more in recruiting, or is it more in retention that the money's going to? Could we be seeing the end of walk-on programs? We'll get into that and what that could mean specifically for Nebraska. And then we were going to talk Jaden Rashada, but here's the angle Strick and I are going to take. Which college football coach is the most likely to get sued next?
There you go.
He already doesn't have a job.
Who is
Jimbo?
Jimbo.
He don't have a job. So he's not a college football coach to get sued next.
There it is. All right. Austin and Stricky are coming up next for On the Block. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Adios.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth 90.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees'